reality sets in, and we're here.
Respect isn't given, it's earned. In blood.
Boxing King Media, we're back here. The winter, in fact not winter, it's autumn, innit? Autumn's setting. We can't sit outside anymore, so we're in Johnny Nelson's living room. Johnny, how are you? I'll see you for a while.
Put a little campfire outside and do it. That would be romantic. Next time you come and do that.
You have got a fire thing, haven't you? Yeah. Does it keep you warm?
That's what you usually do. You just put a fire there and just sit down and chill.
Is it a gas thing or is it like a log thing?
No, that's real, man. You come out stinking of smoke and fire. And you get your eyebrows burnt and everything. So that's real.
We're definitely going to have to try that next time then. I was actually going to introduce you as Johnny Nelson, former cruiserweight world champion, record breaker, and broadcaster, roadman, original roadman who's been every corner of the world, and star of this new show on YouTube, That Boxing Show by Johnny Nelson, available only on that YouTube channel, That Boxing Show.
You know what? It's actually taken off pretty well. The response has been, it's all good. Yeah, you get one or two idiots, but the response has been good. I think truth talk usually works. So if you just say how it is, and realistically, I can answer accusations that have been thrown out of what I've said or what I haven't said. I can talk about what I want to talk about, and we can have whatever guests we want on and talk about what we want. So we've got a real lineup of guests this week for the coming month. So it's actually all right. It's a good laugh. And I'm thinking, why didn't I do it before? But still.
It's no holds barred, say what you want. And it's basically Johnny Nelson, unfiltered and uncut and brutally honest.
I think, I see things that are captured or clickbaited, and I can address those things and put some meat on the bones, where usually if you're put in that situation and someone's clickbaited, you can't say nothing until someone asks you about it, but I can catch up the week after and say, voila, and just pull them out on that. So, but we talk about many things and talk about many situations, funny ones, some sad stories coming up, some good stories coming out, and it's just to talk about things in the spotlight and out the spotlight, and not just sportsmen and women, people, singers, actors, whatever, and it's pretty cool.
Well, I'm going to put the link up to Johnny Nelson's new show and podcaster in the link in the comments to this video. So give him a hand, hit the subscribe button, click on the link, and I think there's a way of collabing YouTube videos. So I'll see if I can figure that out. But
you have to teach me how to do it, because I don't know how to do them things. So I'm old school, so you're gonna have to just walk me through it on my hand, and I'm quite a few years behind you, so we're good.
Well, we'll definitely do that. Before we talk about boxing, I always like to bring you something when I come, and I thought I got Dom something as well. So I had the pleasure of going to Nigeria last week, and I don't know if you like plantain, but these are plantain chips. They're supposed to be spicy. I don't know if you can do us a favor and try these out.
So right now, my daughter's boyfriend sat there and you said plantain. It's plantain. Plantain.
Got that wrong.
It's plantain, but I'll try one of these now. I'm all right with that. I've brought my fast today, so we're all good.
I gave him to Dom, but he's on some crazy diet, so he couldn't touch him.
I had you stripped off as well. Actually, it's not like dumb, like.
No, he didn't strip off. He was wearing the tightest top possible, and he was flexing.
Yeah, that's probably it. Whoa, God, you got a bit of a kick to him, haven't you? Yeah. You're all right, it's gluten free. Nice one.
I was telling you, I was looking into your record, just going off track a little bit before we talk about boxing, because I always like to uncover some sort of story when we catch up. Like your record, I urge anyone to go on BoxRec and look at Johnny Nelson's career and look at every city he's fought at. You fought everywhere, without name dropping them, but I find this one funny. You fought in Australia, then he came back and fought in Mansfield in a leisure centre or something. Then he went back to Australia. Then he ended up in Brazil. Then he ended up in Vegas. Then you're back in Hull, in a civic hall or something. It's like, that's crazy. How does your mind even function with doing that kind of traveling?
You know what? So Brendan always said, if you're a champion, a true champion, you can box anywhere in the world, you come back a champion. If you're real, for real. I had to learn my job on the road, and it makes you decide whether you want it enough. Because when you go to these places, everything's against you, and it's just you, whoever's with you, be it Brendan or John. And you're on the road and everything's set against you, what a hotel you go in, how you get from the airport to the venue, and all this sort of stuff. And if you can win on the road as well, I don't know how my record stands in regards to fighting in Germany, because in Germany they always said if you box there you've got to knock them out to get a draw. I think I've boxed there 3 times now and won every time. And so it's a good way to learn your trade. And so when I look at fighters that like home advantage, there's nothing wrong with getting home advantage, but to be a true champion, a true warrior, you've got to be able to travel anywhere and everywhere and still come back a winner. And that's what I've done. And I think the most obscure place was Chiang Mai, Thailand, boxing New Zealand.
Why was it obscure?
Because we flew there. When we flew there, I'd heard of Bangkok, but I didn't think where I was going was Bangkok. So I flew there, went to Bangkok first. If you ever go to Bangkok, you know what I'm talking about. You go in these bars, you walk down the streets. I'm like, oh my! And I'm not prude, but I've seen some things, man. And then from
the lady boys about in that era?
Everywhere, stood out the side of the shops. You go in a bar, you like people having sex on a motorbike on the bar while you sat there having a drink. So we had a guy taking us around the place, and they give us a food menu, and on the menu they had food and then a picture of a woman, so the woman's like the dessert, and I'm all right, man, I'm good. And I was with my friend. I took my friend out with me as a sparring partner. There was me, him, and John Ingle. And it was Stinger Mason. He boxed Joe Kawasaki, actually. So I said, this guy's my sparring partner. I thought, get me a free trip. And so, none of that foolishness went on with us. But one of the guy, they kept offering him a dessert. And Stinger's like, no. He said, but you're not fighting. He said, no, I'm all right. He said, you want Lady Boy? And so we were dying. So we kept trying to say, yeah, he likes Lady Boys, and throwing him at him. Stinger was a little uncomfortable. He got himself in a few sticky situations. But Thailand was good. I had quite a few. I wonder if Stinger's missus knows that story. Thailand was good. I'm trying to think. New Zealand. Brazil, like Brazil. Well, I always want to go to Brazil, but it kind of put me off with the results there. I boxed a guy called Aldous Rodriguez. He's passed away now. Boxed him the first time, won him easy, but they gave him the decision. There was that much of an outcry. I think I boxed him probably 3 months again. Flew back out to Brazil. I think it was in Sao Paulo, and boxed him again. I thought never going to do it again because it was on national TV out there. They did it again. Magilla, they robbed me again. And as we came out of the venue, they took us there in a stretch limousine, and when we're leaving, he put us in a little light blue Fiat, and there's 5 of us are crammed in this car, and this guy's driving like in Senna, he's whizzing through the traffic, and the cops pulled us up. When the cops pulled us up, they had the guns pointed to the car, and I'm like, and Bex, because they've just robbed me. They took the decision off me again. I thought, I've always wanted to come here. I'm never coming here again. And I'm sat in the car, and John Ingle got out. The other Scottish guy, he got out. Someone his coach got out. The driver got out. And I stayed in the car. I'm like, I ain't getting out. No, I didn't. No, they're out of order. And John's saying, Johnny, get out of the car. And I'm, nope, I ain't getting out. Johnny, get out of the car. I looked over my shoulder, and like the 2 cops had their guns just pointed up to my head over the bonnet of the car. And I'm like, shit, like put my hands out, got out of the car. And so we're all lined up against the car, and the cops one was talking to the driver while the other one was searching us. Now at that time, they paid me cash. So I've got all this cash tucked around my waist in a money belt.
How much was it?
It was probably about 30, 40 grand. And then they said out there, they'll shoot first, ask questions later, or rob you. And so I'm like, damn, they're going to rob me again, take my money. So the driver's talking to him really fast and trying to just keep him busy. And then he said, McGilla. He boxed McGillan, and the cop stopped. He said, you boxed McGilla? I said, yeah. He said, you won. I went, no, I lost. And he started laughing, tapped me on the back. Didn't search me. I'm just gone. If they searched me, they got taxed. But it's just experiences out there all over the place. There's probably a story for every country we've been in.
That's crazy. And it's a good time to shout out your book. I don't know if you can still get it or not, but I'll put it up on the screen. I just realized because I was asking if you've ever written a book. It's called Johnny Nelson, Hard Road to Glory, How I Became Champion of the World. So I don't know if you want to search that, maybe if it's available somewhere.
You know, it's really odd. I don't know if it is available, but I'm thinking about doing a rerun, do another one, do a catch-up book. But it's an easy read. It's a good read. Big letters, loads of pictures, but it's an easy read. And if you like, it's more about not what happens in the ring. It's about what happens outside the ring, childhood, bringing up, growing up. But it's actually not a bad read.
You definitely have got another book in you because the countries you've been to, the stories you could share is madness. Like there's a lot of stuff you could share. So yeah, I'll put that link up as well. So we'll jump into the boxing. I think the first thing I want to start with, I was watching your video on your channel earlier where you said that, you know, you had a phone call with Daniel Dubois' dad and you guys were having it out for half an hour. You just said the words having it out. What we want to know is what was said. Not this, like, you know, summary of we had it out. What was going on? Who rang who and why did you ring each
Well, I
other?
got a random call out of the blue. Zane sat there getting his legs done. Zane was in this room here. And I think when I walked back in the room, it's like he'd seen a ghost because there was that much cussing going on. Stanley rang me up, a little irate, cussing me out on the phone. You don't fucking know me, and all this. I'm like, so I gave it him back, and for a while, and basically the crux of the story is, you know, he felt as though I classed him as being stupid, and maybe the way I presented it sounded like I said he was stupid. What was stupid was idiotic was the decision made in regards to having the gathering, or should I say party, before the Usyk fight and the AJ fight, and that I'll stick by that. And he felt offended, as though aggrieved, as though I was saying he was stupid. I don't know him personally, and he made it clear. I said, you know what, I don't. And you know what, if it sounds like I said you're stupid, it's not right for me to say that because I don't know you. You just made a stupid decision, and I'll stick by that. But Stanley's come back to me. He actually sent me a text yesterday, and after it calmed down and everything, and we were screaming at each other, I said, come on, let's meet for a coffee next week in London. So we're just going to meet up and grab a coffee. The guy's all right, you know. And part of my argument was, Stanley, you're coming at me, telling me when I've run you down about a stupid decision you made. Why aren't you coming at me about me saying you've done an amazing job with three fighters that are outstanding fighters? You know, so people will tell you about the negatives, but they won't tell you about the positives that I've said. So you've got to take the rough with the smooth. That's our game. And Daniel and Stanley, eventually when he calmed down, he said, look, it hurts. You know, I'm sensitive. I don't know this game. I've come in, I've done the best I can for my kids, which I understand in the boxing world. But boxing can be a cruel, cold sport. And when you're up there, it's great. When you're not, they'll switch on you. So if you do good, you'll get the praise. But if you do bad, you've not just got one boss. Everybody's going to tell you about yourself. So I think he was aggrieved because he said it wasn't his fault. The management team, he didn't mention them. The management team, the first time in the AJ fight, they had cars waiting for him at 1 o'clock. Daniel came to the house, everybody's there, you know, collecting their tickets. He bounced. This time, the second time around, the cars didn't turn up. And so Daniel was stuck at the house with everybody. So he's basically saying, so it's not just me, it's not just it's the management team as well. They didn't send the vehicles to come and get him. So then we're all going across. So he put some meat on the bones a little bit. So he didn't just say he didn't say it wasn't him. He said, I shouldn't be the only one getting the blame. That's what happened. It was the management team. The vehicles didn't turn up to take Daniel. So that's a bit of background to it. And so he's getting the flack, completely getting the flack. I get it. I get the frustration. I get the heartache. I get him being vexed. I get it. But I just said, look, you know, he said, I was always a fan of yours. I said, well, if you're a fan of mine, you know, I'll speak the truth. If you don't like what I say, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I'll say how it is. And you'll respect it or dislike it, but you can't argue with the truth. The guy's all right. He said, I'm a dad. I'm trying my honest. I don't know the boxing game. You know, I'm trying the best I can. I said, all right, fair dues. You know, he fessed up to that. But I've done the best I can. I've made my son a millionaire, which he has done. You're going to make some mistakes. But if you make a mistake in our sport, you're going to get called out. Jeffrey's doing his Stevie Wonder Gee, you're going to get called out, and that's just part of my game. So, and if it's something you're not used to, you're going to take these things personal. I think my parting words were, if you don't know them personally, don't take it personal, because you'll get slagged off left, right, and centre, which is really important in our sport. And you can't be telling everybody off that slags you down. Otherwise, you can't tell one person, not tell the other. You can't tell me off and not Simon Jordan, or anybody. You've got to tell everybody. You know, because if you're walking down the street and some big unit comes up to you and says you're X, Y, Z, and you ignore him, but some little unit comes up to you and slap him, then you've got trouble. So you've just got to bite your lip. It's part of the game. And that's on the outside looking. Can you imagine being a fighter? Can you imagine being a fighter that's been in a bad fight and everybody's telling you your box rubbish, you're no good? It's not like having one boss. It's like having thousands of bosses, because you're not going to meet them all at the same time. They're constantly telling you, you're no good, you can't do this, you can't do that. So I think he's learning on the job. But my apology was, I apologise for if you thought, it came across that I was saying you were stupid. I don't know you to tell you stupid. What I'll say, what was done was a stupid thing. And if that's your responsibility, I stick by it. And I actually think, even though Don Charles actually stuck by it, Don Charles, there's no way. I like Don, I've got enough time for Don. There's no way in a billion years Don in his heart thought that was any good for his fighter. Not in a billion years. But that's I say what I see. The stuff I don't see I can't talk about. But that's just how that rolled out. But this went on for about half an hour or so.
Well, I'm glad you guys are sorting it out. But I think the point that you raised, which is quite key, and he did get a lot of stick after the aftermath. But the key part is he's, because of the work he's put into his kids, they're living good lives, millionaires, and that's the ultimate aim, isn't it? You're going to make mistakes, and so
you've got to take the good with the bad. So when you make your kids millionaires, you say you've done an amazing job, Dad. But when you mess up, you can't silence people. And that's it. But Stanley's all right. He's all right. He's a loud character. And he's going to fight for every second, every step he does. I get it. I see it. I recognise it. And so it's just part of the job.
Move on, talking about Ben Whittaker. What do you make of his move to Matchroom? I don't know if you saw the video, a couple of good videos.
Show me the money! Brilliant. I think those two are made for each other. I think characters-wise are made for each other. Eddie needs a star with character. Ben's the guy. Ben needs a promoter with some panache, something about him that's going to take chances, and that's large in life. I think Eddie and him work perfectly together. I hope this, for Ben's sake, he'll capitalise as much as he can out of his union with Eddie. And you know what? The advert, brilliant. I love black people. And Eddie, boy, I've known Eddie since 11 years old. He's got black, white, brown, every colour friend going, and he's very comfortable in his own skin. And when I saw it, I went, go on, Eddie. I liked it. I thought, good on you. And then I sent a message to Ben saying, good luck, brilliant move.
Yeah, it sure is. I spoke to Dom. Dom's not fully sold on Ben Whittaker. It's very similar to how you kind of talked about Hamza Shiraz, but Hamza's sold on him now after his last performance. So I did say to him, we'll revisit Ben again, but from what he's seen, he's not fully sold. So are you fully sold on Ben?
I am. I think he's got so much potential. It's not just about being a good fighter. It's about having that something else outside of the ring. There are millions of great fighters, but if they've not got character and they don't sell a ticket, no one's going to know about him. Ben is, and that's why Ali was so successful, because he was a great talker, great boxer, and I mean great. So if you look at Usyk's, he was lost in translation until all of a sudden he could learn to speak English. Now he come international, not national just in this country. So if you have character where the fans and people can relate to you, there's something about you, they love you or loathe you, you're going to make a lot of money. And Ben's an all right kid. He's an all right kid, and he puts an act on. He'll do his job. And I kept replaying the little advert that I'm like, oh, stroke of genius.
Definitely. And lastly, Dave Allen, again, he put a video out the other day, promoting men's underwear. He's become a model. So I don't know if Dom said he'd be up for doing stuff like that. I don't know if you can imagine Johnny Nelson doing that.
I think Dave Allen's a sexy devil. He's got that proper dad bod, man. He's on it. And Dave, he's like the boy next door. He don't care. You know, he don't take himself serious, and that's why he's probably so popular. I think they've sold the arena out together. That's why he's probably so popular. So he doesn't take himself seriously. That and you look at him, looks are deceiving. And I said a few years ago, Dave should pack in because he gets hit too often. Now he's got a new resurgence in regards to his union with Jamie Moore. Jamie's doing a great job. Jamie knows the job inside out. And the little clips I saw of him, well, all right, like that. Good on him. Good luck to him. I think Dave has his limits, and if you've got something about you, beat him. If you don't, you sleep on him, he does you. And we've seen that. You look at his record. So it's about opportunity for Dave, and he's making the most of it.
Does he beat Arslanbek Makhmudov, who's 6'6", big puncher, but has been stopped twice? Dom wasn't too impressed with him from the videos he saw of him, mainly his 2 losses. But he does come out quick and fast at the blocks.
Dave's a tough cookie, and you'll think you can't miss him, but you can take a shellacking. So coming out fast out of the blocks and putting it on someone, you know, you've got to pace yourself with Dave. If you don't pace yourself, he'll tire you out by you punching yourself out on him. And so Makhmudov needs to be smart in regards to how he goes about it. If he's got a bit about him, then he beats Dave. But if he sleeps on Dave and thinks I'll just blast him out, he's going to punch himself out, and Dave will catch him up.
Drop us a prediction. How does it end Saturday night? And are you going as well?
Pardon?
Are you going to go to the fight?
I'm going to go to the fight. I think Dave loses on points, but it puts on a brave, spirited performance. But Makhmudov is going to have to work for that win. If he's stupid and he gets fooled by the look of Dave, then he loses. But I think it'd be a close points win for Makhmudov.
Interesting. Do you not make much of his sledgehammer to the abs training technique? Have you seen any of the No, Makhmudov. Have you seen the videos?
I've seen the videos of it, and I just think, again, Dave's a tough kid. I remember when he was at like 15, 16, and he was in the Winkerbank gym sparring with I know, put that slim edge on the ribs. Let me see that. I remember when Dave was 15, 16, and he was sparring with the big guys, and he was getting a shellacking then. But he's just tough. So it's just a case of who can take the biggest lumps taken out of him.
Good stuff. I will look forward to that. That's it, really. Anything else you want to add before I let you go?
Let me have a look. Austin Trout sent me a message because he wants to fight James DeGale in the bare knuckle world. Have you been to one of those fights?
No, I'm going next week to because I'm good friends with Paulie Malignaggi. So I'm going to support Paulie in that.
Yeah, I'm going to that one. But it is, trust me, if you're into boxing, that is going to make you, oh my gosh, it is brutal. But the crowd are fanatical. They're on the feet, they're fighting. Honestly, it's mad. And it always makes me curious when I see a boxer going into bare knuckle fighting, because originally that's what it was, you know, and boxing, you know, grew from that. So if a boxer thinks he can go into the bare knuckle world and control it, he's on another planet. He's on another planet. And you saw James, listen, I know James is nowhere near the fighter he was. I think his legs are gone. I think, why are you doing this, James? And he was actually shocked when he had a bit of a cut under his eye. But the bumps and bruises those boys take, and that's bare knuckle. The bandage is there like that. And so it's brutal, but it's like, you can't help but watch. So I'm going to watch Paulie, because Paulie likes to scrap, but Paulie's got bad hands, so I want to see how that pans out. And so I'm just curious to see how it was. But anyway, Austin Trout, he's trying to draw up that fight with James DeGale, and if the money's right, I think it would happen. So I've been watching a bit of that, and then it's exciting to just see what's happening in the future of boxing, in the fights that are coming on the horizon.
Definitely. I think we're going to be hopefully covering content in the bare knuckle world soon as well. So just kind of overlapping into that. And yeah, that's it really, Johnny. Thank you for your help. And again, like I said before, that boxing show by Johnny Nelson, the link's in the comments, you know, give it a subscribe. Let's get Johnny's numbers up and keep him going. Thank you.
Yeah. sets in, and we here.
Respect isn't given, it's earned. In blood.